Whoa there, tough call indeed, man. Pitt's Joe Black. That slow, deliberate charisma, the way he carries himself, it's got this foreboding tempo, you know? Then you've got Depp's Duke, a glorious drug-fueled tumble down the rabbit hole. The sheer manic energy of that film. Both 98, fresh off the reel. All right, spill it. Date night flick or a beer and pizza with the boys kind of vibe? 9,000 times yes. Meet Joe Black it is. Classic romance with a twist of the otherworldly. Come on over here, I'll get you rung up. And a little insider tip. With any 3-day rental, anything on these glorious shelves of sugary delights, Milk Duds, Twizzlers, Sour Patch Kids, you name it, is a steal at half price. Pepsi too, if you're parched from pondering cinematic masterpieces. Well, hello there. Tina said you'd be clocking in tonight for training. Name's Alex, and I'll be your guide through the glorious, occasionally chaotic world of Blockbuster. Welcome aboard, fantastic. Grab a Pepsi, an employee perk, consider it your initiation into the Blockbuster inner circle. So feast your eyes, the tangible experience of movie and game rentals. A beautiful thing. A beautiful thing, almost goddamn sacred, right? Can't quite replicate it. Wouldn't you agree? Take a gander, my friend. A sensory overload of plastic cases and vibrant artwork, wouldn't you say? Each one a glimpse to another world. Now, the first thing that assaults your retinas, you'll notice, is the brilliant, almost surgical fluorescent illumination. Not exactly designed for a cozy, romantic evening, but the higher-ups, in their infinite wisdom, decreed it essential for maximum tape visibility, preventing any accidental misfiling or, heaven forbid, a customer missing that crucial new release. And now, behold the membership counter. Your initial point of contact, the gateway to cinematic escape. Here you'll enroll your eager cinephiles, patiently answer their queries, often revolving around the intricacies of late fees, and subtly guiding of them towards those strategically placed impulse candy and popcorn purchases. A true art form in persuasive suggestion. Now you're on the night shift. And our little corner of cinematic paradise happens to be a rare 24/7 beacon in this otherwise slumbering town. The night shift. Well, it possesses its own unique charm. We'll delve into those nocturnal oddities shortly. Tales best shared when the customers die down a bit. Observe the hallowed new releases wall. Prime real estate, my Padawan? Notice the dazzling, brightly lit expanse showcasing multiple copies of the latest cinematic triumphs. Blockbusters, if you will, in their natural habitat. Organized by genre to maximize browsing efficiency, and trust me, it's a zoo in here on Friday and Saturday nights. Prepare for the stampede of eager renters, their eyes gleaming with anticipation. All right, now for the labyrinth. The heart of our operation, the backbone of Blockbuster. The store here is meticulously segmented by genre: action, comedy, drama, sci-fi, horror, family kids, classics, foreign films. You'll swiftly grasp the nuances of the subcategories. Not exactly rocket science, but attention to detail is your steadfast ally. Okay, so a significant portion of your evening will be dedicated to the sacred ritual of rental return, a swift visual inspection for rewind compliance. The Be Kind Rewind gospel is not optional, it's practically scripture. And then, the glorious quest of reshelving each tape in its precise alphabetical place, ensuring cinematic harmony here. And speaking of rewind compliance, observe these ubiquitous yellow stickers. Be kind, Rewind. More than a mere suggestion, my friend, it's practically enshrined in company policy. Enforce it with a polite yet firm hand for the sake of operational efficiency and the sanity of your fellow Blockbuster brethren. And finally, venture with me to the hallowed rear, the sanctuary of gaming entertainment. Our games section. A trove of cartridges for the mighty Nintendo 64, sleek discs for the venerable PlayStation, and a respectful smattering of Sega Saturn. Remember, the silent hum of a well-maintained game section is the soundtrack to many a weekend. All right, listen up, bud. Tina probably just glossed over how things are here on the night shift. You gotta take this seriously, friend, because it sounds crazy, but it's all real. First thing you gotta watch out for, right from the start of your shift, is where stuff gets put. I mean, tapes, movies, whatever. Somehow, some Jerry or some punk kid always manages to stick them in the wrong spot. Usually, it's no big deal if you catch it early. But let it sit, and if one of those misplaced tapes ends up next to the wrong movie, well, things can go sideways real fast. I don't know why. Maybe the store's built on some old burial ground or something weird. But trust me, things happen. Take a few years back, for example. Some idiot put Schindler's List right next to Jurassic Park. What happened next? It went down in company history. Now this sounds totally nuts, friend, but you gotta believe me. If two movies get cross-shelved like that somehow, in some messed up way, the characters from those movies, they come alive. I know, right? Nuts. But it's true. That night, Nazis and Raptors went at it. The SS blasting away with MP40. It was brutal. 4 customers and 2 of our guys didn't make it. 15 minutes of pure bloodbath, and the aisles were covered in dead Nazis and dead Raptors. After it was all over, John, the manager, he finally got to the movies, pulled them off the shelf, and chucked them in the incinerator out back. That's the only way to stop it, see? You gotta destroy both movies. Yeah, we got an industrial incinerator. Don't ask. I got my theories, but nothing solid. So, every night after that, we kept a close eye on the shelves. Everyone knew the rules. Don't mix up the movies, or you might just find yourself in a world of hurt. The morning crew thought we were just being paranoid, but we knew better. It wasn't just about misplaced tapes anymore. It was about survival. One night, we had to deal with a Godzilla and the Exorcist debacle. Can you imagine? Giant lizard meets possessed child? Chaos erupted again, with screams echoing through the aisles. By the time we managed to get those movies sorted, we had half the store staff hiding in the break room, praying for dawn to break. We all laughed it off afterward, but deep down, each of us felt the chill. It's one of those things you can't unsee. Every shift since then has felt like a gamble. You could end up facing something as silly as a cartoonish chicken from Chicken Run battling a military robot from Terminator. Crazy how the mix-up can change everything, huh? But that's the gig at this place. Every time that door swings open, we brace ourselves, waiting to see what nightmare might walk in next. It's become a running joke among the staff. We call it the crossover curse. Just last week, one of our new hires was putting away a copy of The Shining when he accidentally placed it next to Finding Nemo. You can guess how that turned out. It was like watching a horror movie unfold underwater. Fish flopping and screaming, while Jack Nicholson's ghost danced through the aisles. We had to clean up a literal flood, not to mention the traumatized customers who witnessed the chaos. It feels like we're stuck in some twisted version of a movie marathon that never ends, always on the edge, wondering which films will be the next to unleash their wrath. Surviving the night shift one bizarre incident at a time. There's Jonah, who swears he saw Elvis come out of the Grease section, singing while juggling VHS tapes. Or Sarah, who can't get last month's incident involving Scream and Bambi out of her head. A heart-wrenching combo that left us all questioning our taste in films. Yet, as we sit there, laughing amidst the horror of it all, there's this underlying fear that haunts us. Will tonight be the night something truly terrifying happens? It's not all blood and guts when the tapes get mixed up, you know? There are those rare nights when the cinematic chaos actually turns into something memorable. Take that one time, for instance, when Jake, bless his oblivious heart, shelved the Delta Force right beside Die Hard. Now, you'd think a counterterrorism expert and a wisecracking New York cop might clash, but those two, they were thick as thieves. Spent most of the early morning hours in the break room with us, playing some seriously intense rounds of poker with rolled-up movie posters as chips. McLean, surprisingly, was a terrible bluffer. Then, as the night wore on and the store was dead quiet, they got this wild hare to check out the acoustics in the foreign film section. Next thing you know, we're setting up empty VHS cases as targets, and McCoy's giving us a masterclass in tactical maneuvers while John's cracking one-liners between shots. And the craziest part, it felt totally normal, like having a couple of off-duty cops hanging out. And yeah, you heard right. Chuck Norris's legendary, albeit fictional, doppelganger even gave me a quick but surprisingly effective lesson in handling an Uzi. Said it was all about confidence and a steady hand. That night, that was one for the Blockbuster history books, the kind of weird that you actually miss when things are quiet. And the fallout from those less-than-fun crossover events? It's not just about mopping up ectoplasm from a ghostly romantic comedy gone wrong or trying to explain the sudden appearance of a fully functional and surprisingly aggressive trebuchet in the new releases section. It's the paperwork, man. The endless, soul-crushing paperwork. Incident reports that require you to not only detail the improbable, but also somehow justify the use of company resources to deal with it. Try filling out a damage claim for one severely dented display case, courtesy of a rampaging Minotaur who apparently took issue with the new releases signage, or an injury report for Brenda, minor lacerations, sustained during a brief but intense lightsaber duel with a rogue Jedi who materialized near the family video aisle. Corporate reads that stuff, and they don't see the unbelievable reality. They just see red ink and question your competence. Then there's the smell. Oh God, the smells. You haven't lived until you've tried to air out the store after a horde of swamp creatures from a low-budget horror flick decided to have a picnic in the new releases, leaving behind a pungent, unholy miasma that lingers for days, no matter how much air freshener you pump into the vents. And the customers, some are terrified, understandably. Others, they treat it like some kind of bizarre tourist attraction, intensively watching as a bewildered centaur trying to navigate the aisles or asking if the escaped alien from that 80s B-movie gives autographs. It's a circus, a chaotic, potentially lethal circus, and you, my friend, are the ringmaster, except instead of a whip, you've got a price scanner and a vague instruction manual that definitely doesn't cover interdimensional breaches caused by miscatalogued VHS tapes. So yeah, keep those movies where they belong. Your sanity, your safety, and your very job might depend on it. Okay, friend. So while the peculiarities of the night shift sometimes veer into the realm of bizarre crossovers, we also encounter more mundane, yet still strange, occurrences. Take, for instance, the infamous mobility cart massacre of '97. The very name, laden with hyperbole, speaks to the lasting impact of this particular incident on our collective memory. It serves as a cautionary tale, a legend whispered in the dimly lit aisles after the last customer has left. Now imagine the scene. The automatic doors slide open, revealing not a typical late-night movie renter, but a considerably overweight gentleman piloting an electric mobility scooter through the entrance. This is not your average browsing experience, and it triggers a specific, albeit extreme, set of procedures. It's crucial not to be lulled into a false sense of security by his apparent physical limitations. This individual, despite his reliance on motorized transport, has proven to be a significant disruption, a veritable menace to the orderly arrangement of our VHS tapes and DVD displays. The initial step in neutralizing this unusual threat involves a carefully crafted public announcement. You must approach the intercom and, with a tone of grave sincerity, recite the designated phrase verbatim, "Good evening, fellow movie buffs. It has come to my attention that due to unforeseen circumstances, Blockbuster will be closing early. Please make your way to the nearest exit. Thank you for your understanding." This fabricated announcement serves the dual purpose of clearing the premises of innocent bystanders, isolating the primary source of the disturbance. Once the last legitimate customer has departed, leaving an eerie silence punctuated only by the hum of the fluorescent lights and the whirring of the mobility cart, Protocol Delta Charlie is to be enacted. This protocol involves the deployment of a specialized piece of equipment, a less-than-lethal sandbag round. This projectile, designed to incapacitate without causing fatal injury, is to be used in conjunction with the Remington 870 shotgun, which, for reasons best left unexamined, is discreetly stashed beneath the tape return counter. At this juncture, Mr. Mobility Cart will likely be engaged in acts of vandalism, perhaps using his vehicle as a battering ram against our meticulously organized new releases, or sending stacks of discounted titles cascading to the floor. The instruction is clear and direct. Take aim and eliminate the immediate threat posed by this disruptive individual. The target area is center mass, maximizing the impact of the non-lethal round. While the subject may express his displeasure vocally, perhaps with cries akin to a distressed cetacean, the intended outcome is his swift and decisive departure from the premises. The aftermath of the '97 incident, though officially unacknowledged by corporate, left an indelible mark on the night shift crew. A new unspoken rule settled in: expect the unexpected and always know the location of the Remington. We even started a betting pool on the nature of the next bizarre late-night visitor. Everything from rogue llamas to escaped circus performers was in the running. The following months were relatively tame, almost disappointingly so. A few overly amorous teenagers in the back aisles, the occasional confused elderly person mistaking Blockbuster for a pharmacy, but nothing that warranted a Protocol Delta Charlie. We almost started to believe the legend of the mobility cart massacre was just that, a tall tale spun to alleviate the monotony of the graveyard shift. Then came the night of the Great Parrot Escape. It started subtly. A series of squawks, seemingly coming from the ventilation system. Initially, we dismissed it as the building settling, or perhaps some strange auditory hallucination brought on by caffeine withdrawal. But the squawks grew louder, more insistent, and undeniably avian. Turns out, a local bird enthusiast lived above the strip mall, and through a series of unfortunate events involving a poorly secured cage and an open window, his extensive collection of exotic parrots had taken flight, with several choosing the Blockbuster ventilation system as their temporary sanctuary. Imagine trying to explain that to the morning manager. Yes, Brenda, the new releases shelf looks like it's been attacked by a rainbow because we had a flock of escaped parrots nesting in the air ducts. This situation, while certainly odd, didn't fall under any established protocol. Sandbag rounds were clearly inappropriate. Yelling "Polly, want a movie?" over the intercom seemed equally ineffective. We were adrift in uncharted territory. It was Miguel, our resident film buff with an encyclopedic knowledge of animal behavior gleaned from nature documentaries, who came up with a solution. He remembered a scene from an old Tarzan movie where the jungle hero lured birds with a specific whistling pattern. For the next hour, the sounds of jungle calls echoed through the aisles of Blockbuster, a bizarre symphony of human imitation and increasingly agitated avian responses. Slowly, one by one, the parrots emerged, their vibrant plumage a stark contrast to the drab carpet and video shelves. Some landed on the candy display, pecking inquisitively at the wrappers. Others perched precariously on the staff pick sign, their beady eyes scrutinizing our cinematic recommendations. The climax came when a particularly large and vocal macaw, a magnificent bird with scarlet and blue feathers, landed squarely on the head of Mr. Henderson, a notoriously grumpy regular who had braved the late hour for a new release of his favorite action franchise. Mr. Henderson, startled but surprisingly unfazed, simply blinked, reached up, and gently coaxed the parrot onto his arm. "Well now," he grumbled, "aren't you a colorful fellow? The rest of the parrots, perhaps sensing the jig was up, followed suit, either flying towards the open back door we'd strategically propped open or landing on our outstretched arms. It was a surreal exodus, a feathered parade out into the night. By the time the sun began to peek over the horizon, the last parrot had been safely ushered out. The only evidence of their visit was a scattering of colorful feathers and a faint, lingering scent of the rainforest. Brenda, the morning manager, arrived to find us bleary-eyed but strangely triumphant. We recounted the tale of the great parrot escape, half expecting disbelief and reprimands. Instead, she simply sighed, rubbed her temples, and said, "You know, after the mobility cart incident, nothing really surprises me anymore." The betting pool was officially closed. Rogue llamas and circus performers suddenly seemed rather pedestrian. The night shift at Blockbuster had once again proven that reality could be far stranger and far more feathered than any fiction we had on our shelves. And somewhere, tucked under the tape returns, the Remington 870 remained, a silent sentinel against the next unforeseen oddity the night might bring.